her daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Morning, Dan.
Good morning, Troy. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, chat. How are you?
Yeah.
Good, you're the first here. I was just telling Dan, today's going to be a quick one because Papa's going on a little ruck. For those who don't know what rucking is, it's hiking with a heavy bag.
Oh,
And
I didn't know.
I have found as I get older that that's my favorite form of exercise, because cardio wise, you feel like you're sprinting, depending on how heavy the weight is, but it's easier on the joints. You're not running, so you're just walking. And
What are you putting in the bag? Are you putting like a weight, like a 25-pound weight or something?
I've got a 40-pound weight, weighted rucksack. Now I'm a big guy though, so I need that extra weight. But so yeah, we're gonna go on a ruck this morning and trying to squeeze it in. So I said, listen, I'm going to just give the people what they want. I'm going to give people a really good test and send them on this way.
Yeah. Are you going into the Smokies, or where are you going? How far in?
No, I told him, actually, my buddy, I got to get back for another meeting today. So we're going to do some urban rucking.
Urban, right?
Have you heard of Urban Cowboy?
Yes, I did. Oh, yeah.
Just like urban rucking. Downtown Knoxville, I believe.
I'll tell you, like when we were in San Francisco, I'll tell you what, I was reading about, in the San Francisco Chronicle, the newspaper, about an offensive lineman from the San Francisco 49ers that in the summer would run up those streets. I'll tell you what, that would be, if you're a 280-pound, 300-pound offensive lineman, you're running up those steep hills in San Francisco. He said it changed his, he lost weight. He was in the back. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, those are literally straight up.
No, I mean, Dan and I walked up a hill to go eat dinner, and about 3/4 of the way, I said, I swallowed my pride. I said, he's older than me. He's in better shape than me. I'm going to just be the guy that says, hey, Dan, can we take a shortcut? And it was a game changer for us because it wasn't looking good. Immediately, 30 seconds in, it wasn't looking good.
Well, I was so proud of you because we had another tranche to go to the upside. And Troy found, how do we get to the same restaurant without the hills? And he found it. And I'm like, I told the hotel guy when I get back, can't you tell people how to get to a restaurant on level, little more level ground instead of going like 4 stories up? And that was the rest of the thing. Troy took us, I said, if somebody comes up with an app idea would be how to travel around San Francisco in the most level way.
Forget AI, just an app for San Francisco for fat people.
Done. That's the best way to say it. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. It's all it is. So have you recovered from California?
No, but we're getting there. It was I'm a little concerned in Knoxville. When I come back here, 40% of the cars are pickups, right? Pickup trucks. Leaving the 40% of the cars in San Francisco are Teslas. So we're going from Teslas to pickups. So it's a little different change of pace.
Tesla to pickups, and from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit.
95 degree here. Yeah. Oh, the weather. I mean, that's just beautiful out there.
Was.
I mean, it's just.
It was really nice. And it was a whirlwind trip.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Now, Dan, What does your hat say? What hat are you wearing this one?
This is my Chicago hat, and this is when my hat when I don't get a shower in yet, so I get hat, but I get multiple Chicago hats. This I'm not sure if this tied to a team. Usually they're tied to the Cubs or something.
Yeah, that has Michigan, like a Michigan feel to it.
It does have the Michigan color, so I can go incognito.
Oh yeah,
Michigan Wolverines, as long as they don't see the word Chicago on there. But
oh yeah, I love that. Well, I told, like I said, we're gonna move fast this morning. So we've been looking at a 923 butterfly. No, we haven't either. 923 double calendar.
It'd be an achievement.
That'd be an achievement. Yeah, if I could create that.
Yeah.
I have always really actually wanted, back in when you're like graphing stuff out and thinking about it, I really do love the idea of like a time butterfly.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah.
I mean, in a low vol environment, you could do a 923 butterfly where you're selling, you sell the at the money 9-day, right? And then you buy your wings 23 days out, and it's like a diagonal. I mean, that's what it is. It's a diagonal. Diagonal is mixed month spread with different strikes. So a time butterfly would be a diagonal. I think those work well. I mean, I think if you said to me in the current environment with VIX, not far from the lows of the year. I mean, we're in the 15s. I don't think that's a bad trade at all. And you can tweak it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could kind of turn it into a selling out of the money. I mean, you could, a time butterfly like you're talking 9-day, you could sell the at the money, buy the wings, but you could also spread it out a little bit, sell a little bit out of the money, call and put, buy the wings. Yeah. So it's interesting
I love the
concept. Yeah.
We should play around with that one.
We should. Yeah.
It'd be fun. Well, the 923 double calendar, we've been looking at, and we were talking about running it. I think Mondays I gave you from 2017. And yesterday we looked at kind of 2017 to 2025, one with like a 1.3 MAR. And, I said 1.3 MAR is a lot better if it's from 2017 than if it's from 2022, the SPX dailies. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. I'm going to give you the best I've figured out so far.
Wow.
So that Friday, so that we can work hard the next couple of days. And by Friday, we can improve on this, because I would love to open this up myself. But
so you're what softened your heart a little bit? Yesterday, you kind of backed down, like, I'm not going to give them the fettuccine Alfredo. Today, is there a little tenderness came in today, Troy?
I appreciate that. In the spirit of rucking and doing hard things, I said to myself, I'm going to give it away.
Wow.
So that we can work harder and even go deeper. And
so you're challenging the chat and everybody else, saying, hey, I'm giving out of my heart today. You give a little bit out of your heart, and together we'll have a better heart.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward. It depends on, like, I know people have different type of motivations, and they're motivated in different ways. So if you're the type of people who need encouragement, I would just say, hey guys, you guys are awesome. Best crew in the world, best chat in the world.
That's right.
I would love to see your geniuses at work improving this test. If you are the type of person who needs a little bit of a challenge and motivation, I would say you all suck. And there's nothing that you could do to improve on this test.
That might be coming something.
Yeah. Like you could test this the 4 million variations. You'll never get it as good as mine. You'll always be a disappointment to your mother and I.
Yeah. You're weak, you're worthless,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps. But here we go. Here's the 923, the best I've got it so far.
Wow.
And we got a 3.9 MAR. This is what I like about this trade, and I really do like this trade. So let's talk about the kind of big picture stuff I like, and then drill down into the mechanics of it. I like that there's over 400 of these trades. So, I'm losing my 8 years. So 8 years. That's crazy that 2017 was 8 years ago. In 8 years, you run it 440 times. So I don't know what that is an average per year, but you're not opening it every day. Put it that way. There's some things happening to it. So I like that there's, for what it is, there's a good number of occurrences. Going back that far, I mean, 300 would be my minimum going back that far. I like that you are in the trade less than a week or right about a week. That I like that from a psychological standpoint, just kind of letting it sit there. But that's me. I know some people that terrifies them. And I like that we have some guardrails, and that's what we've added is some guardrails. And so let's actually talk about the guardrails first, and then maybe Dan, we can talk about just kind of the deltas and what that looks like and things like that. So we're getting in, if you look at the miscellaneous section, we're getting in when the short long ratio is at least 0.45. So you have some juice in the shorts, is what that means. You have some juice in the shorts. And you're either getting out when A, the stop loss ratio gets below 0.1, or we're using leg deltas. So let me show you that. With the leg deltas, we have a 28 delta put. We're getting out when that goes above 65. And we've got a 29 delta call, and we're getting out when that goes below 65. So we're letting this get in the money a little bit, right? The other filtering mechanism is we have a RSI min of 60. So we want this to be put on in relatively stable environments. We don't want to put this on when things are going haywire. Dan, we've talked about it already a little bit yesterday, but what's the benefit of doing, would you consider 28, 29 high delta?
I would not. I mean,
Okay.
since I've
come to the dark side,
come with options Omega and looking at everything, those are I would say more folk by observation, would you agree, are using less than 28, 29.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm more used to closer to 30. I'll kind of start at 30, right? Start near 30. And then if you want to go less delta to 2025, you give up a little bit of you give up some of the middle to get wider wings. If you want to go higher than 30 to 35, you'll get more theta and you'll bring the middle up. And so for me, especially on a 923, my decision making will be like on volatility. So if we're like, for example, VIX is still in the 15s today. Let's say you have a catalyst Friday, which is I keep saying black hole, but it's not the black hole. It's the Jackson hole, right? And you have some catalysts. I'm more than thrilled I would go, I mean, if it was a subjective, what do you call it when you're making a decision other than the automation? Not subjective. Discretionary, yes.
Yeah.
That's what Steve from Navigation would say. Yeah, discretionary. I would go give up the middle at a 15 volatility to get more room, right?
Yep.
If you thought there was some catalyst or you thought we're due for a move, then I'm more comfortable. So the lower the vol, the more I'm willing to give up the middle. The higher the vol, I'm not willing to give up the middle as much, right? I mean, I'm comfortable with a 15 vol that it won't sink the ship, right? So, but I'd rather have more distance, especially if you think it's going to move. But anyways, I think it's so that would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I like it because, personally speaking, I have a DC that's kind of similar to this.
Yeah.
But it's even smaller deltas. And so I like the idea of this kind of like layer of onion. Now, I will tell you, as someone who loves DCs, Option Omega is kind of known for DCs in some ways. Certainly didn't invent them, but we trade them a lot. it really, so you said, Troy, why would you like that? Why do you like that layering effect? Well, I like to kind of have it widens the tent. I mean, that's the whole point of tranching, really. You want a larger tent, so you get bigger delta, smaller delta. Same concept. Here's the con, though. With any DC, if you'll notice, I mean, yesterday was a good example, I think. A lot of people lost money on DCs yesterday. And
me too. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. I'm not only am I the president, I'm a member. You know,
Yeah.
That's the hair club for men, old thing. But why? Well, DC's usually it's really hard to get away from the Vega of a DC. I mean, they're so heavily weighted Vega, different weights, obviously. But so if you have one DC on that's losing, you're usually not going to have like one DC on that's winning as well. Right? They usually follow in tandem, right? And so now that certainly can change, but they're more like a wave of the sea. It's, in my mind, it's not, you're not darting back and forth. It's like you're riding the wave of all. And so that's the pros and cons of it. But I mean, listen, from 2017, not financial advice, but that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good MAR since 2017. And you've ridden arguably two crashes since then. Yeah, 2020, and if you want to call Liberation Day a crash, it's a 2-day crash, 3-day crash, you could.
Yeah.
But it's rode those waves.
Yeah, Troy, one thing I was just thinking as you were talking, I love the whole thing that you're saying, the diversifying. Some people may have, a double calendar 20 delta, and then you might have a 29 delta, right? That gives a little bit of difference. But like you mentioned yesterday, it's interesting. When you have a 20 delta or something like that, when you start getting that real low delta, your risk as much is not the price movement. It's the volatility. Now, a way to diversify that a little bit, what I'll do sometimes is have some double diagonals on, and maybe a little bit, again, remember, a double diagonal versus a double calendar, you're buying less extrinsic value. So you have less volatility risk per dollar on it. So if you have a double diagonal, and sometimes on like a 923 double diagonal, especially with the deltas you're looking at, that risk is more price risk. That is more, if we're 15, 16 volatility, I'm not as concerned with the volatility on that generally. So, I mean, if you're throwing in a double diagonal where you're just buying, instead of double calendar, you're buying the same strike as your short. Double diagonal, you're buying 5, 10 points, whatever, outside your those areas. But you have a little bit higher gamma than a double calendar, negative gamma, which means is the price, you're going to have more price protection with the double calendar. But you're not, as far as the song that the volatility, if it were a blues song, the volatility got me again, it's not going to happen as much with double diagonal. It'll be the price move, right? Whereas double calendar, like you're saying, which is a good thing. If you told me which enemy would I rather have in the long, I'd rather have volatility than price, right? Right? Price can hurt you. So I think, even like you said, diversify the deltas in double calendars, but also, I mean, I look at double diagonal, double long diagonal as a first and second cousin of the double calendar. And I think utilizing some of those doubles helps. I mean, realistically, is an iron condor a first cousin of the double calendar? If you look at it from the viewpoint that, what do they all have in common? They all have the short strangle, right? They all have the short strangle. Every one of them. Double calendar, iron condor, double long diagonal, and then you can mix and match. I like to sometimes have a calendar on the upside, diagonal on the downside, or calendar.
Yeah.
So there's endless variations of these things, but I like anything with the word diversification in it. whether it be by duration, putting them on different days. But yeah, yesterday was not a, I got nailed on or I should say not nailed, but I had, I think, a double calendar on in the cues, but it was and I think it was pretty close to this delta. You had a 65 delta on this, on the short put, Troy, for your rail on this one. I think I had 70. And it was at 65, and I'm watching it. And it was maybe down 14% or something. And I was thinking I could have raised I was gonna go in there and raise it, but then I heard Matt in the background in my voice, Dan, trust the data. Trust the data. So I left it alone. But yeah, it was fine. But I wasn't stressed at all, because it was like, okay, that's normal. I probably want to get out at this time, and those things happen. And we'll go back in today. Yeah, we'll go right back in today. So
right back straight. Yeah, I agree completely. And I mean, good origami man gave me an idea here. We're gonna put in probably for Friday about tranching it a little bit, just to show you. I think that's fun. Now that's an expensive tranche. That's an expensive tranche.
What is that per calendar? How much is that per calendar?
This is about $5,000 trade.
Yeah, that's a good improvement.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what would be interesting, and this is actually one of the challenges why I went ahead and shared this today, is I think it'd be fun to find a small account challenge version of this. And if you did that, then I think tranching would be interesting, because suddenly you're $500 a spread rather than
SPY. You could do this, but you don't. Do you do SPY? Do you have SPY? Do you do in Omega?
Yeah.
SPY. Yes. You could probably do a 923 for 500, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 923, and then you could put 5 of them on 2,500.
Right.
That. So, that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, on that note, listen, I'm about to hurt my body on purpose. And
Troy, say the word again. What you're doing right now?
Rucking. Rucking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to. Yeah. So okay. I'm excited and scared. I used to do it all the time. I got a new weighted vest, so I'm trying the weighted vest rather than my rucksack this morning.
All right. Well, maybe we can see pictures tomorrow.
You don't want to see pictures of that.